For either one of you guys, I mean, since the Kentucky game, you've been lights out on defense. I think last 4 opponents or last 5 opponents, nobody shot better than 41%. Have you guys just flipped the switch, and was that game a wake-up call on that end?
I think in Lexington, it really humbled us. I think that was the start of us really locking in and understanding what we needed to do defensively to hold teams under a certain amount of points so we could really, play freely on the offensive end. But I think it started definitely at Ole Miss. We did a good job. You got to credit them for how they played and how the game went. But our intensity really started in the Ole Miss game, and then it carried over into the Kentucky game, which we had extra motivation to finish that one the way we did. And tonight, you just got to keep carrying it over because this is the time of the year where if you want to be a championship team, you got to play championship-style basketball. And I think we did that for most of the night, most of the 40 minutes on the defensive end. But offensively, we got to be a lot more fluent.
Admiral, how hard was it to get your emotions back under control? When you went back in the locker room to come back out for the final warm-ups after all the ceremony stuff, and can you just kind of walk through the emotions of that moment and then trying to get ready to play?
I think it was harder this morning waking up and realizing this would be my last game. So I got most of them out this morning. I think I was just more thankful for the amount of support I got. When my name was called, it was very touching to see how many people support me. Being in my 4 years, as much as I've done in the community and just the area of Knoxville, it's just great to see that I was appreciated. And for my hard work on the floor and off the floor, it's just. But for me, I think I was just more thankful. It really wasn't a sad type of crying. I was just more thankful and appreciative for everything. So it didn't take me long. I just had to refocus on what we had to do.
For both you guys are playing for an SEC regular season title Saturday. You had that experience last year too. What do you remember about that Georgia game, and do you think that will help going into Saturday?
Yeah, I just remember it being just a battle, the whole game. I remember us being down for a lot of it and really having to fight. And I just remember Admiral's out of bounds play with a guy threw the ball behind his back, and Admiral got the ball and dunked it, and that was really a momentum changer for us. So, that moment was like a experience for us, and we've learned from it. I think we can definitely use that towards the next game too.
Those games are definitely a fight, and it's just a matter of how bad you want it. Like he said, in those games, a lot of plays were made, and when you see a play that you can make, you just gotta go for it. Whether you fail or succeed, you gotta go for it. You can't be scared. And we're right in pretty much the same position we were last year, just a little more wins on our side, less losses. So we got to go out with the same intensity, same focus, but at the same time, we can't forget that Auburn came in here and beat us last year. So we got to go in and play good basketball. They're definitely going to really try to make a statement against us, which I know him, but credit to them. They're a hard-playing team. So we have to go out and do what we do, play Tennessee tough, and hopefully come out on top. But if not, we got to give our all for our state.
Patrick, Grant, and then Steve.
For both of you, what was it like seeing Brad and Lucas back here? Seeing Brad and Lucas get in the game, and then Brad hit that three at the end.
I got really excited. I wanted Lucas to drain every one he shot because he wears us out in practice. Oh man, he's a totally different player in practice. You think he's Kobe Bryant out there? It's insane. So, but Brad, Brad missing that layup, I thought that was going in, and then him finally hitting the three. It's just poetic justice. I was excited for those guys. I was hoping we could get them in around that 8-minute mark so they could really get some time out there. But Mississippi State isn't that type of team. They came out and competed tonight, and I was just excited for those guys to get in their last game in TBA and compete.
Can this group have as much fun on the defensive end when the defense is clicking the way it is when the offense is clicking?
I honestly think, and I can speak for Kyle too, it's a lot more fun on defense, and it feeds into our offense. It's a lot more fun when guys can't score on us, and we can score on them. It's a lot more fun for us. So I think that once we got that feeling in the Kentucky game, we started to kind of get a little taste of how we felt last year. You know, last year every game was fun because of how much, you know, how intense we were on defense and attention to detail on the defensive end and the scouting report. And I think that we've really adapted that in these last 2 games, but we got to continually, consistently get better at it every day in practice, but also in every game.
For both of you, for the moment you have a half-game lead in the SEC standings, LSU plays tomorrow. Are y'all going to be watching that game tomorrow night, LSU, Florida, and how much rooting will there be?
Honestly, I haven't really watched any other SEC games all season, and I don't plan on changing that. I'll probably watch the game from tonight and focus on who we got to work on next. But LSU's a very talented team. I think they're top 10 now, which is well deserving. Very talented team. So I expect them to go out and compete and handle business. But Florida isn't no easy opponent. They compete at a high level and they're hungry as well, trying to make a statement. So it should be a good game. Hopefully I get to check out some highlights, but I plan on getting a lot of rest.
For both of y'all, you know, you've both said at different times, you know, you've talked about this being home and kind of feeling like, you know, your home state, or I guess, Kyle, your home country. How long did it take both of y'all, if you're being honest, to really feel like this was another home for you? I mean, was it your freshman year? Was it later? When did it really happen?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was freshman year. I remember, like Admiral said in the interview out there, you know, I was an introvert, so he really went out of his way to make me feel like I was at home, and these fans have been supportive from day one. You know, I know Coach Barnes always talks about how my freshman year I was a baby giraffe, and you know, for the fans to just stick with me from that time, you know, I heard it every now and then, but for them to stick with me until this day, I mean, that's the best fan base in the country, because you know I was a struggle my freshman year, so I felt it from day one, and you know, coming from Canada, you know, you look for that kind of homey vibe, and Tennessee definitely gave that to me, so I'm very appreciative, and I'm blessed, honestly.
I would say for me, it was on my visit. As soon as I came into town, I was welcomed with open arms and got a lot of that Southern hospitality. It was different for me, you know, coming from the North, coming from the Midwest. So I would say it felt like a home and family vibe as soon as I committed. But you know, Coach Barnes and his staff made it feel like that even more with how we did things in our program. So I mean, like Kyle said, freshman year, day one, it had that family feel.
Kyle, a couple weeks ago, you told me your ideal game was if you got a bunch of rebounds, you didn't even care if you scored. Tonight, 10 rebounds and you got 6 points. How would you assess your final game at home?
You know, I'm just glad I got to play in my final game at home, but you know, I'm glad that I got 10 rebounds. You know, I'm glad that I focused on that side of it, but at the end of the day, I'm just happy that we won and that we protected home court all season. And you know, like I said, I'm truly blessed. God is so good to have put me in this situation and to surround me with these people, and I'm just glad that we got the job done today and that we get to celebrate as a team. And you know, I didn't think I was going to get as emotional as I did in the locker room, but that just shows how much of a family we really are. So.
Finish up with Troy and Rob.
For both of you, I guess, what was that moment like at the end of the game? You know, have the microphone in your hands and you kind of get to address the fans for the final time here.
I didn't know what to say, to be honest, but, you know, that's just one of the ways you would want to go out, addressing the crowd and who appreciates you as much as they do. And like Kyle said, God has been so good to us as far as, you know, keeping us away from injury. And, you know, there's been days where it was really hard for both of us. And, you know, giving us the mindset to never quit, keep fighting, and, you know, always having some type of feeling of comfort here at the University of Tennessee. No matter if it was on the floor or off the floor, it's been a great experience all 4 years. So it was just for me, I'll never forget, you know, everything that happened today. I'm very appreciative. God is really good. God is really good.
Yeah, and I didn't know what to say either, and I could barely speak, so I'll just let him do most of the talking. But just like I mentioned, we haven't been perfect, so just for the fans to be the way they have been, you know, it's just unbelievable. And I mean, you're never going to experience anything like this again in your life, so I'm just leave it at that. I'm trying not to.
Kyle, you kind of touched on it earlier. I guess you said you were just glad you got to play in your final home game. How kind of freeing was it to not have foul trouble tonight, to be able to play 20 minutes and kind of, be aggressive that way and stay on the floor? Had 4 blocks and were a defensive factor.
I mean, I definitely was smarter about it today. I didn't go for any offensive rebounds I didn't think I could get. I tried not to do anything that I thought would lead to a foul, but I tried to stay aggressive, and it worked in my favor. But I have had a rough couple of weeks. I'm just, like I said, I'm just happy to have played and to have been a part of this win and part of the success, and just finish the season off great, the way we did. It was awesome.
Thank you, guys.
These guys.
Thank you.